A single axe stroke could doom a whole vessel. Viking shipbuilding was a brutal craft. It demanded incredible precision and years of acquired knowledge. These fearless seafarers shaped history with vessels that were more than just boats. They were instruments of power and survival. The process started with choosing the right tree. Oak was paramount, chosen for its strength and natural curves. It was a tedious search, taking days, perhaps even weeks, to find suitable trees, maybe 40 to 50 feet tall and often 2 feet wide at the base. Felling these giants required immense effort from a team of maybe 8 to 10 strong men. They would use iron axes, hacking away at the base with relentless swings. Once down, the trunk was split lengthwise into planks. This was done by wedges driven in with mallets. No saws for the main hull planks. The planks had to be thin, but incredibly resilient, perhaps just 1 inch thick. Each plank was then shaped with an adze, a tool that looks like a small axe but with a curved blade and a handle perpendicular to the head. This allowed skilled craftsmen to create the signature clinker construction where planks overlapped like roof tiles. This overlapping gave the hull its flexibility, a key feature for riding heavy waves in the unforgiving North Atlantic. Imagine the sound of hundreds of iron rivets hammered through overlapping oak planks. Each rivet required a hole drilled by hand, a slow and demanding process. A large warship might need thousands of these rivets, perhaps 5,000 or even more, all forged by local smiths. Some larger longships could reach 95 feet long or even longer with a beam of around 16 feet. They might have a crew of 60 to 80 warriors, rowers, and fighters, packed tightly. Cargo ships, known as canars, were wider and deeper, perhaps 50 feet long, with a 20-foot beam. Designed to carry several tons of goods across rough seas, sometimes up to 24 tons of cargo. The mast was usually made from a single tall pine tree, strong enough to support a massive wool sail, often dyed red or striped to stand out. These sails could be as large as 1,000 square feet. The rope for rigging was made from linden bast or animal hide, incredibly strong material woven by hand over many long days, sometimes taking a team of 5 men a full month to produce. The entire construction process could take 8 months for a smaller vessel or up to 1 year for a large longship, with a team of 20 skilled builders working tirelessly from dawn until dusk. The wood was then treated with tar made from pine resin to make it waterproof. Animal fat or wool was also used to seal the seams, ensuring the ship remained watertight on its epic voyages across thousands of miles of open ocean. The shallow draft of these ships, often less than 3 feet, allowed them to navigate shallow rivers and beach quickly for raids or exploration, a crucial tactical advantage. Their speed was legendary. A good longship could achieve 10 to 14 knots under sail. This meant distances of over 200 miles could be covered in a good day, with favorable winds making them feared and effective. The engineering was astonishing, given the limited tools. They had no blueprints, no complex calculations, just generations of inherited practical knowledge. Every curve, every joint, every rivet was based on empirical wisdom passed down for hundreds of years. Building a ship was a community effort involving many hands, from felling trees to weaving sails. The shipwright was a highly respected individual. His understanding of wood and sea was paramount. Without these ships, the Vikings would never have reached distant lands like Greenland, Iceland, or North America. They could not have established trade routes from Russia to Constantinople across 3,000 miles of land and water. The Drakkar, a type of longship with a dragonhead prow, struck fear into hearts across Europe, a terrifying sight on the horizon. These ships were not merely transport, they were extensions of their culture, their ambition, and their sheer will to explore and conquer. The timber selection alone was a sacred act. They looked for specific growth rings and knots that indicated the strongest wood. The sheer physical labor involved was staggering, requiring immense strength and endurance every single day. Every part of the ship, from the keel to the masthead, had a purpose. There was no wasted material, no decorative excess. Functionality was key. This deep understanding of shipbuilding was passed down from father to son for centuries, almost 500 years. 1,000 years ago, this knowledge was revolutionary. The ability to build ships that could withstand the North Atlantic was a testament to their ingenuity. They measured distances in days of sailing rather than miles. Their ships allowed them to navigate unknown waters for several weeks at a time. Imagine the skill needed to carve a keel from a single piece of oak, a massive timber sometimes 50 feet long that formed the backbone of the ship, providing its fundamental strength. The framing ribs were carefully bent or naturally grown curved pieces of wood. These ribs provided structural integrity and were fitted individually to the planks. The planks were then fastened to these ribs with wooden pegs or iron nails. The ship's rudder, a steering oar, was often mounted on the right side, known as the steerboard side. This gave us the word starboard. a lasting legacy. Each oar bench was specifically designed for an individual rower. There could be 30 or more pairs of oars on a longship, allowing for a 60-person rowing crew. This provided silent power when the wind failed or when approaching a shore for a stealthy raid. The sheer scale of material gathering was immense. Forests were carefully managed to provide the best timber, often requiring travel for tens of miles. Iron for the thousands of nails and rivets was smelted locally, a laborious process that consumed vast amounts of charcoal, perhaps 300 pounds of charcoal for just 100 pounds of iron. Every component, from the sail to the anchor rope, was handmade. There were no shortcuts. The craftsmanship was impeccable. Every joint fitted perfectly, ensuring a strong and flexible hull that could flex with the waves. The ship was their home, their weapon, and their legacy. It allowed them to journey thousands of miles away from their homeland. From the dense forests to the turbulent seas, the creation of these vessels was an ode to human perseverance and ingenuity. They mastered the elements, using what nature provided in the most effective way possible, a true marvel of ancient engineering.